Hey there, everybody. It is me, Chris Herman, here for another episode of On Deck. Today, it's going to be another solo monologue from me here at the desk on deck. As always, I would like to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Herman Agency. Click or ring the bell so that you receive any notifications, so you receive notifications whenever we have new content that goes live. And it is always helpful if you like and or comment on the videos. It does help us grow. That's a funny way to say it, right? So anyway, now that we've got the house business out of the way, let's hit on today's topic. Today's topic, I wrote music, right? I mean, it's kind of a broad-based topic. We're going to veer off into a few different areas as it pertains to music. But the other day, I posted a picture of myself holding a guitar. And in that post, I talked about my passion for music and where it really came from. And so I want to elaborate on that a little bit today because I did get some real positive feedback and commentary on that post. So I thought that I would use this as an opportunity to talk about it a little bit more. So in the post, I shared what was and still is a very vivid memory of my childhood. I remember being in my bedroom at our house in New Jersey, and my dad was sitting on the corner of my parents' bed with an acoustic guitar, strumming and playing the song "Take It Easy" by the Eagles. And he was he was struggling his way through it a little bit, but he definitely had a passion for it and was definitely giving it his very best. And I just remember that, and as a child, and thinking, wow, cool, like the guitar is just so cool, and what an interesting instrument. And it wasn't long after that guitar ended up being my guitar. And I can tell you that I spend countless hours in my bedroom noodling along on that guitar, as many guitar players that start off, kind of plunking along on two strings. Of course, you learn how to play Smoke on the Water. That's like the first riff that I learned how to play. Learned how to play it wrong, but that was the one. And just couldn't put it down. Could not put that guitar down as a child, as a young boy. And here I am as an adult, and I still can't put the guitar down. I just love it. It's an instrument that for me is tremendously expressive. As you can see, got one. This is a 2005 Gibson Les Paul Standard Faded, and it's a unique one because it has the Peter Green mod to the pickups. Most of you will be like, what is he talking about? But here at the office, the guitars, they're everywhere. I've got about a dozen of them. It's a bit of an addiction. Guitars and guitar gear, total addiction for me. But it's a passion, and it's my collection. It's the thing that I'm into. But I'm not so much here to talk about my guitar collection or playing guitar, but more how that, if I think about it, that single memory of childhood, that single experience from childhood was such a strong contributor to the fact that I'm sitting here now, as the CEO, president, owner of a advertising and marketing company here in Florida. And this has been my career for my entire adult life, and it largely goes back to that experience. When I was a kid, I definitely liked to draw. I was definitely more, I wasn't like I would not consider myself a serious artist, and I was not that, but I enjoyed drawing, I enjoyed writing, and I enjoyed music, and I enjoyed playing guitar. And so as I grew up, I worked on and developed those skills, through junior high school and high school. And really, it is those skills and primarily the love of music that ultimately led me to want to get into advertising. I remember when I was in college, taking advertising classes and just thinking that that was going to be the right avenue for me, because I didn't want to be an artist. I did not want to be a starving artist, certainly. But I wanted to be in a field where I could utilize my creative skills in a business setting. And it took me a little bit longer to get there. I definitely pursued the arts and pursued music particularly. It was my dream, in high school and in college to be in a band, and not so much to, record records so much and like be famous, and, that was not the thing. It was really more about creating a group of like-minded people to create music and get on stage and play in front of people. For me, performing was like, I just wanted that so bad. I wanted to be on stage. In high school, when my buddies and I used to go into New York City, we'd go to CBGB's and some of these other clubs to see a lot of punk rock and mostly hardcore bands at the time. And just the energy and the excitement really stirred in me a deep desire to be able to get on stage and perform. And again, it all tied back to the guitar. To me, it was just like getting on stage, getting a guitar, having the right sound, playing, what I would consider to be the cool, right songs, and expressing myself from an artistic perspective, but through music and with the guitar. And that never left me. I mean, even to this day, if you come to our agency, like I said, there's, guitars everywhere. We got a giant kitchen in the middle of the place, but we also have a big stage right in the middle of the office where we've got drums and keyboards and bass amps and bass guitar and guitar amps and all that stuff. And I still have a band that I play with to this day, guys that I met when I started my career at Zimmerman years ago, and we're still playing music. we play 90s alternative rock. We don't have a name for our band yet, though. We don't. But it's still a huge part of my life. And as I said in the post, I'm elaborating on, what guitar and music means to me and where it all came from. But for those of you watching who would be curious to know, well, what, okay, it's nice to know, Chris, but what's the deal? The foundational element of this business has been and always will be creativity. It's why almost everybody that works here or has worked in this agency over the last 15 plus years that we've been in business, 90 to 95% of the people that have ever been a part of this company have been here or in this industry because of the desire to express themselves creatively, whether it's through art, through graphic design, whether it's through writing, whether it's through video, whether it's through music. That is the common thread for us here at the agency. Even into the digital team. Every one of our digital people that I've ever spoken to over time, almost every one of them, even though they had a strong desire to, learn e-commerce and websites and SEO and SEM, a lot of them are writers at heart. It's very interesting, as we've done these podcasts, to learn that about our crew. And so that fundamental thread of creativity is really at the heart of what we do. Now, how does that apply in this modern world that we live in? Because certainly the bulk of any dealership's marketing expense or strategy is digital. And whether that's website, SEO, SEM, paid social, you guys know all the categories, but digital is the massive, large amount of the overall footprint for the dealership. And it has to be done well. It has to be done right. That being said, I'm still a huge believer in the importance of what it is that you're actually saying. And so, for example, in this day and age, you could communicate your business's message to your potential customer in any one of the following ways. You can pick up the phone and call that person. You can text them. You can have a message on your website. You can have a message on your Facebook page. You can send them a direct message on Instagram, right? You could send them an email. You could send them a direct mail piece. You could make a video and put it on YouTube and promote it on YouTube. You could have a TV commercial. I mean, obviously the list goes on and on and on and on. And all of these avenues are all, to varying degrees, effective ways of communicating what you have to say to your customer. They're avenues, they're pathways, they're channels, and they continue to grow. But at the end of the day, they are a means for you as a business owner to communicate what it is that you want to say. So having those channels set up and finding the right ones that work best for your business, super important. But if you don't really have anything interesting to say, then you're not really maximizing any one of these avenues. You know, you may have a great paid search strategy from an execution perspective, but if the copy on your actual text ads is lame, or it's average, or it's not enticing, you've lost an opportunity perhaps to get that customer. Same with SEO, same with social. You know, simply just posting your inventory or simply just posting pictures of cars with prices and payments may not be the most captivating way to capture people. Now, think about this. For those of you out there that have paid attention to TikTok, you know, TikTok is a place where you can certainly burn a shitload of time, right? Just scrolling and watching all this content. And so much of it, a lot of it is really ridiculous. But man, I will tell you that it has been my impression that TikTok is an area where the average human's creativity has really thrived. And the the people on TikTok that are getting lots of followers and lots of likes, it's very often not highly produced. It's very often not super professional or polished, but it sure is interesting. It's either authentic and direct. It's also very creative and unique. But you'll find, if you get on TikTok, you'll find a lot of stuff out there done by regular, everyday, average Americans or people around the world that you're going to go, wow, that was really creative, right? And that's the stuff that's resonating. So TikTok is the channel, right? But if the content sucks, or if it's not interesting, or if it's not creative, well, then nobody's going to pay attention. But the thing that makes TikTok so great, it's not TikTok. It's not that it's short videos. It's the quality of the content being served up in that avenue. No different with Instagram, right? You've scrolled through your Instagram feed. You've seen, stuff that's done by big companies that feels like it's kind of boring, big company-ish. And then you find something from some random kid that's just super unique and engaging, right? Instagram, whether it's, posts on the feed or just photos, or whether it's reels or Instagram stories, those are all avenues to be connected to from person to person or business to person. But again, just because you've connected down the avenue, if the message is not creative, then people aren't going to pay attention. And we're living in a world right now where there's so much choice in terms of what people can consume in terms of content, that if the content's shitty or if it's not really interesting or not meaningful, they're not there. So kind of veered away from my original topic here of music, but I'm sharing all of this to give you insight into our thought process here at the company and my thought process as well. We got into this business for the ability to utilize our creative abilities in a business setting to help businesses. We live in a world now where there are more choices than ever on how to communicate your message. And only, you in combination with your marketing team or agency, we'll all make the best decisions as to what those avenues are. But once the avenue is set, then it comes down to what you're saying, right? What are you saying and how are you saying it? Are you getting people's attention? When people come in contact with your dealership, when they come in contact with your brand, what do they feel? Do they just see the same old? Or are you giving them something that is different and unique and, quite frankly, honestly representative of who you and your business are? That's creativity, right? Being unique in who you are. Communicating your message in a unique and creative way. That is as important now as it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, 40, 50, right? It's not to say that there aren't things that technology has taken over on that are effective. There are. But you still need to stand for something. You still need to share something about yourself in a creative way to attract people to you. And that's why this foundational story for me of my life is still so valuable to me to this day and to our entire crew here at the Herman Agency, because we strive to bring exciting, fun, cool ideas to our clients. You know, we're doing a lot of stuff right now to promote this business. Obviously, we're promoting our business because we want more business. Obviously, we're promoting our business and we want more business because these are interesting and challenging times for those of us on this side of the business, right? There's no denying that. At the end of the day, I'm doing this podcast and all this content because we're trying to draw attention to ourselves in a way that intends and hopefully results in people seeing and saying, I like what they're about. I want to give them a shot. It's the same for you. And that's really a long way of coming back to this introductory theme of music, that memory of my childhood, that post recently that I had a lot of good positive response to. I wanted to elaborate on it because it is a important and fundamental aspect of who we are here at the agency. So I'm going to wrap it up because that was a lot of talking. As always, I thank you all. I appreciate those of you that are watching and listening and sharing and commenting. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to us. We're going to continue to do the very best we can to bring you great content, great information, things that hopefully when you walk away from either give you a new outlook on something, maybe you learn something, or maybe you find a little nugget that will be helpful for your business and your life. That's the goal. So I am Chris Herman. This is another episode of On Deck. I thank you. I wish you all well. Have a great day. Be healthy and safe, and see you later.